We're back to discuss Krampus, and if you watched our review, we stayed pretty light on the details, because I think the more of this that you discover for yourself, the funnier it is. And I actually had heard such high reviews, high praise for this movie, that I was actually a bit disappointed in it. Honestly, I just heard so much good about it, and so I think that really made a difference in, like, it wasn't just, like, amazing for me, like, it wasn't a 10 out of 10 or anything, but it was like watching one of those Gremlins movies, or watching, one of those horror comedies from the 80s, and it's just good, silly fun.
The only thing I had heard about it was how much money it had made. I had heard nothing good, nothing bad about it. So I was kind of surprised. I expected a bunch of CGI and whatnot, but it was old school. Yeah, I felt like I was watching Critters and Leprechaun and Gremlins, and that was great, because I missed that.
Yeah, and it doesn't, like, if this were written like a modern horror movie, we would know the backstory to, like, the Jack in the Box would be explained. They would have explained, like, what the elves are all about. They would explain, like, Krampus's, like, weird human face that he wears over the top of his real face, and, like, all of that stuff would have been given its own mythology, and there'd been some book they'd find halfway through that explained everything, or the grandmother would be, like, have, like, some old, notebook or something that she'd kept it all in.
And somehow warm, fuzzy feelings would have saved the day.
Yeah.
And everybody would have ended up happy. Instead, the closest thing I can think of nowadays to the ending that we got was Jeepers Creepers.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the obvious choice for how that ended.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun, though. I thought they took a little bit of nowadays, because the teddy bear just screamed Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
The clown was creepy, but everything has to have a clown. Like, that's the horror movie trope.
Yeah, and it wasn't nearly as bloody as it could have been, and I think that was really it wasn't to keep it from being overly violent. I think you were supposed to, like, continue to hold out hope that there was some way to undo what was happening.
Yeah.
Like, the first girl dies under that truck or whatever, and they don't really show it.
Outside of his leg, was there any blood?
I mean, not really. Like, you saw the girl getting eaten by the Jack in the Box,
but you just see
like her legs going away.
Yeah, like it's full ingestion. So you do still have that feeling that maybe if they catch this thing, that they can cut it open and
like, 3 of the characters are just sucked under the snow, and that's it.
Yeah. Which reminded me of Aliens when Hudson's pulled under. There were, I couldn't tell if it was an idea to keep the suspense. Are they alive? Are they dead? Or if it was a send up to some old movies.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was to keep the suspense going, and also make this a old school horror comedy. Because in an old school horror comedy, you wouldn't have just gore and, all of that kind of stuff going on.
Yeah. Nowadays, a lot of things are getting carried away with. They're equating blood and gross out with being scared.
Mm-hmm.
And this didn't do it. The best thing that happened to this movie was it wasn't ruined by its trailer.
Yeah, I agree with that. It wasn't ruined by its trailer. I mean, the problems that it had were more along the lines of it seemed to take a while before everybody got the message that, like, this is serious and, you know, things are really going down. But I wasn't, like, impatient for that to happen. It was kind of fun to watch that happen. I also thought it was really funny when they were talking about, you know, the dad tells his son, like, you know, go to sleep. He's like, how? But then, like, a couple minutes later, like, David Koechner's supposed to be keeping watch, and everybody falls asleep.
Yeah.
And the fire goes out, and everything starts to go down.
The interesting thing to me was there was no rhyme or reason to who's going next. You know,
Right.
Normally in horror movies you have a pecking order. This person's going to go, then this person's going to go. The first person to go in this one was not at all. Like, that was, to me, that was probably going to be the last one standing.
Sure.
And it did not go the way I expected. The special effects, I said in the trailer, or in the movie, it was kind of low rent. I loved it.
You gotta quit using that term, because
it's not doing it any favors. But it reminded me so much of those old movies, especially the rows and rows of teeth that everything had.
Right.
Reminded me of Critters.
Puppets and practical effects are not low rent, like, by any stretch of the imagination. CGI is low rent.
Fair.
Okay.
Yeah, bad terminology, but you know, it was even the cheapest things can get the desired effect, and they did. This was great. They weren't scary; they were creepy.
Sure.
That was a good thing. I was kind of hoping for an Elf on the Shelf nod or something to attack that.
Yeah, but it's got to be ancient and old school. It can't be about what it's about now.
Well, yeah, like, you know, I figured somebody would have, like, an Elf on the Shelf and Krampus would destroy it or something, because that's kind of the big Christmas thing right now.
But that's exactly my point.
Yeah.
Like, this movie can exist at the same time that Home Alone exists. It can exist at the same time that Gremlins exists. There's nothing tying it to right now. There's nothing. It's not of its time. It is an anytime movie.
Yeah.
It's a timeless movie. So yeah, I mean, forgoing all of the modern commentary is just the same as forgoing all of modern technology to pull off the effects, and it's all the better for it. So I dug it. I'm glad we saw it.
Definitely.
That is Krampus. If you like the way we do these reviews, please like the video, subscribe, check out all the written and video reviews at dalemaxfield.com, and thanks for watching.